Hey y'all, thank y'all so much for joining the YouTube channel. Today we're doing something a little bit different. Y'all know I like to be switching it up, but today we're going to talk a little bit about, you seen the title, we're talking about building the bridge between cosmetology, trichology, dermatology, and we're coming from two professional perspectives. Today we have Tiffany, and she is an amazing, amazing cosmetologist. She has the Tiffany Cosmetology Collective, and she's just coming here to bring her expertise just like I am. And we want to talk about why it's beneficial to build this bridge and what is the bridge, because it seems like apparently no one knows that there needs to be a bridge built. But guess what? We getting ready to entertain y'all today. So thank y'all so much for joining, and let's get this conversation started. Yes, y'all.
Okay, we are here to edutain. Okay, we're going to make sure we hit you with the information and knowledge that you need. And we're going to have a little fun while we're doing it. We're
Hmm.
boring where we don't do that.
I love it. I think what's going to be the most exciting is that there's no plan. We don't got no questions for each other. We're just going to really just dive into cosmetology conversation and talk professional business, because I feel like the cosmetology industries has been so striated. It's like the older stylists and then the younger stylists, when we're all cosmetologists. It's like we just really don't have that. And then we get to the hair and the scalp, and people are like, I do hair and I do scalp. And I think it just needs to be talked about. And I would love I'm so grateful to have, like, be able to talk with Tiffany, because when I first talked to her, and I just reached out to her on Instagram, like, hey girl.
Hey.
Yeah, and she was like, "Oh yeah, this is my cup of tea," and I'm like, "Let's talk about it." So, just I would you go ahead, girl. Just give us some intro about you and what you do, and so that the audience can know more about us. Of course, I'll go after that, but I want to hear more about you
Okay.
first.
Okay, my name is Tiffany Nichol. I am the owner of Hothead Signature Salon and Hair Replacement in Ohio. And I also own a consulting firm where I help beauty professionals start their businesses from graduation all the way to grand opening. We work on some things in between, social media presence, certifications, and knowing these numbers and how to actually reach your client, right? So those are some of the things that I do, day to day. And
Hmm.
today we just came to give different perspectives on, like she said, the three. I'm gonna call them the three branches of hair loss, right?
Right.
Because it's a puzzle. There's a puzzle piece, and it's or a chain,
Hmm.
and there's different links. So we have us, the cosmetologist.
Hmm.
We have the trichologist, and then we also have the dermatologist. So today we just want to talk to you, about just figuring out the scope of work between each one and why you need us all at some point and how we can work together.
Absolutely, absolutely. I want to add to that chain, honey, because recently with what I do. So my name is Rayshawn Phillips. I'm a licensed cosmetologist here. Been doing it for about 20 years. I also do some mentoring, and my favorite thing to do is educate hairstylists on scalp care, because that is my link in part of the bridge. Yes, I love to talk about what the purpose of trichologists do and the purpose of dermatologists and as cosmetologists as well. But what I recognize through my research and through my college education is that we have the ability to help our clients with certain hair loss concerns and scalp disorders, and we don't have to spend all of the time going to a trichology program. We can actually get the education and provide our clients with holistic solutions to with some of the issues that they're having. So I'm going to be that fourth link in the chain and start something
Okay.
that comes from the United States of America, an African American woman here that with a bachelor's of science, majored in biology, minor in chemistry, and I just would love to be able to participate in allowing cosmetologists to feel more comfortable and confident. And it's really, at the bottom line, it's about generating that revenue. Like, you need to be making the money, and we're leaving money on the table, having to
Wow.
give our clients to trichologists and dermatologists that, honestly, in that can help, but they're busy. They're super, super busy, and they don't really have like a lot of time. The profession is so flooded, and so that's one of the reasons why I started this program, and I'm super, super geeked about that. So I'm ready to just join in, and really, like, that's why it's entitled "Build the Bridge," because I think I would be some of those links in that bridge, and that's how what I consider myself in my business right now.
Sounds good to me. I feel like we all have a place, and no matter what we are doing, when we find our lane and our skill set and what we have to offer, we need to build that up and present that. Like, I'm not trying to, I'm not going to try to diagnose. I'm not a dermatologist. So I'm going to
Absolutely.
stay in my lane. And I think that for many professionals, we kind of want to do some other stuff
Yeah, you know what? And
that we're
I'm glad
not
you said that.
formally trained to do. So
Yeah.
I like the fact that you are coming in, with a whole degree behind what you're saying. It's people that just start throwing
That's you
information
did it.
out
You
there
did it.
and
They
doing
just
things and mixing stuff up and telling
uh
you it's gonna, create hair growth and things like
or
that.
cure, you know that word, they're gonna cure. And there's just no
Yes.
cure. I mean, one thing, Tiff, is that be making me upset, or I don't want to call it upset, but whatever. It burst my little bubble. Is that is that trichologists, as well as, like, I think that's why it's really really important to understand the position of a trichologist, because
Mhm.
dermatologists, what, like you said, are the only people that can diagnose these scalp
Mhm.
disorders, because they're able to do, like, the scalp, they're able to take out the scalp biopsies and things
Biopsies,
like
yeah.
that. You know what I mean? Trichologists aren't certified to do that. They don't have the ability to do that. But they also don't have the capability of shampooing their client's hair. And that is like that there's something that's missing there, because if we send our clients to trichologists who are providing them, they only are allowed to provide holistic approaches, which we can definitely do once we become educated on what holistic approaches are available for these clients.
Right,
The
right,
problem is we got these Google gurus that go out, they look on Google. They're not checking for scientific articles. They're not looking for any research. They don't understand the value of a p value, or how the efficacy of it, or why it worked, or
right.
none of the science behind it. And they're like, oh yeah, let's do this. I mean, I've seen all kind of things, and of course, it's always try to say this is no hate to anybody. I don't knock nobody
Mhm.
hustle, but there's people that are
I do,
rubbing. She said, I do. Yeah, I try. I be
because we
trying
just
not to.
talking, right? So if for those that are unlicensed,
Oh yeah.
watering down my profession, yeah, I knock that.
Okay, yeah. Oh,
I
yeah.
knock
You see,
that.
I think you right. You right. I was thinking the professionals, because what I was getting ready to say is that the rubbing the watermelon on the hair and squeezing cherry juice and all. I'm like, okay, so
I
is
haven't
that?
studied it, so I have nothing to say. I
Mm,
stay in my lane,
mhm.
so that you've studied it. So I'm gonna
Yes.
let you take that one.
Yeah. Yes. Well,
I don't know about the juices and berries and what it does and doesn't do. I don't know.
it's very visually appealing, but
It is. It's an
to,
experience.
it is an experience. And but if you want the benefits of fruit, you need to ingest.
Yeah.
You got to eat it. You got to eat. You can't take a cherry, squeeze it on one spot, and say, I'm curing your dandruff with this little cherry juice.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then, I mean, I think about also the benefits of clients when
Mhm.
if you're investing in this, you're investing. Say you're someone who's performing the service. There's a pricing that comes along with buying that. You got to spend your money on cherries. Cherries be expensive, like $10 a bag. I mean, I'm sure they just go up and up and up. Everything going up right now. So there are
Right.
very and the number one reason is there no research behind it. There are only articles that people have written and said, I blended some watermelon and it worked for me. And so, I really always encourage people to look at the source, look at your reliable resources, and ask someone who has an education behind it. I think it's valuable for all of us to do that, no matter what. When you're on
No
Google, you
matter
need
what
to
we're
know.
doing.
Yeah, no matter what you're doing. But I really,
So, the fact that some of those things do have astringent properties, like, can they help at all? Is it like,
well, okay, so
I'm wondering.
yes, there's many things that can provide benefit. It's
Okay.
like saying, well, I'm going to use a cheaper shampoo. Does it clean it at all?
Y'all hear that? So it does something, but is
Yeah,
it doing enough?
right. In order for you to
And can it
claim,
actually do what the person is claiming that it can do?
that's it.
Those are
And
the questions. As consumers, they need to be asking.
Yes, yes, because sometimes you get under the false pretense that you're going into someone and they're going to use the watermelon, they're going to rub it on their hair, and then your dandruff is going to be cured, or you there, and that is not the case. There's no cure for dandruff. There's no cure for psoriasis. There's no cure for seborrheic dermatitis. There are only ways to treat the underlying symptoms of
The
these things.
symptoms.
Yeah, and those underlying symptoms, most of the time, dermatologists and trichologists are recommending. Well, of course, trichologists recommend, dermatologists prescribe,
Hmm.
and what they're doing is they're prescribing corticosteroids, and those are because the
Oh,
corticosteroids
the
have a
topical.
Yes, a topical and
Yeah.
shampoo corticosteroids, and sometimes oral. Absolutely,
Okay.
there's sometimes oral corticosteroids as well. But those things are treating the things like the inflammation that is caused in the
Hmm.
scalp. You know what I mean? They have some antibacterial properties, and there are essential oils that have studies and proof that this works. And so I think it's really, really important for us as cosmetologists to necessarily, if you want to if you want to get into that field, if you want to bridge that gap between trichology and cosmetology, and help understand that, then you need to truly understand the science behind it, rather than just going to Google and saying, I know how to cure whichever. Because honestly, it's against our license to say that you can cure anything. Like if you read the book, the cosmetology book,
Correct.
you cannot
The
claim to
book that
cure.
you all received when you went to school, and
Yeah,
I'm going to speak from an educator standpoint, right?
go ahead, girl.
I have taught at multiple schools, and it baffles me how so many of the students, I would say, did you read chapter 17? Did you read these pages? No, I got kids. This is school. You signed up for school. You
Mm-hmm.
signed up for school. It's
Yeah.
school. You
Mm-hmm.
have to read, you have to study, you have to understand what is happening here. Not just go on the clinic floor and flat iron somebody's hair, by the way, without heat protectant.
And that's the truth. I mean, it's the truth. I think
We
you're
learn
you're
so
an
many things, and
you're
I
an
think
exception
that
to
a
the
lot of
rule.
people don't take it seriously.
You're an exception to the rule, Tiff. That's why they need you. They need you so much because when I went to cosmetology school, I would have loved to have an instructor that really cared about my growth, and that cared about my
Mhm.
interest in my balance after I left school. When I was in cosmetology school, girl, I literally, they told me you would be, I don't know if they was separated where you go, but they say you're gonna be on in the classroom for a certain amount of months, and then on the floor in a
Yes,
couple, a certain amount of months.
that's nationwide. Yeah, that's standard practice.
Girl, bye. I
Week
walked into
one, you
that
was on the floor.
I walked into that school. They saw that I could do some braids and do some. They was like, "Oh yeah, you on the floor." I never got that background just because I was capable of manipulating the extension of the part that's the most important. That the scalp is the foundation of our hair. It is.
Say that again, because that's. I'm gonna need you to say that again.
The scalp is the foundation of your healthy hair. Like, and your scalp is a skin. So all of these different things that we're claiming, like, are we using watermelon on our face? Are we washing our hands in watermelon, or are we doing, like, some people are using aloe, and I love aloe as a protector.
I'm
Okay.
allergic to it.
And me and you both, girl. And I tell people,
I'm allergic to. Who is allergic to a healing plant?
it's, and the thing about it is because you may be. So what I've learned about aloe is that there's latex in the skin. So when cosmetologists are taking that aloe plant, cutting it in half and just rubbing it on the skin, they can literally cause an allergic reaction because of if they're not properly consulting with the client, they don't know. They just think they're just putting aloe on there. But aloe
Ooh,
also.
those consultations.
Right. Yes, you have to talk about consultations, because I love that you coming from that perspective of an educator, from, educating cosmetologists from beginning to the end, because I feel like that part is missed. But what the last thing I'm going to say about aloe is aloe removes the sebum that is in our hair. And sebum has antibacterial properties that are necessary for scalp health. We were given everything that we need. We were given to us inside of our body. We make these decisions to add stuff and be adding different stuff. That's why vegan and vegetarian is becoming so powerful right now, because people are recognizing that I can eat what I can just suck on some ginger root and get rid of this cough, and I don't got to take Robitussin. Yeah.
Y'all heard Smokey. God put this here for me and for you. Take advantage.
I
Take
love it.
advantage.
Girl, I gotta tell you, I love your comedic. You funny. Oh, I love it. I'll
Listen,
be like, oh my goodness, I wish I was that clever. It's so clever. I just love it.
if it fits, if it fits in, if it aligns with what we're talking about, why
Girl,
not?
you
We
always
got to
on
keep the
point.
people's attention because they're going to sleep. We talking
Yes.
science. They
Well,
going to
tell them
sleep.
about consultations then. Now that they woke, speak to them
We
about
still
them consultations. Go on, girl.
So the consultation, just like the healthy scalp is the foundation to healthy hair, the consultation is the foundation of a great customer experience and
Mhm.
that they get the results that they're expecting. Why? Because you know what they need, you
Mhm.
know what they do, what their maintenance lifestyle is. These are the
Mhm.
kind of things that you have to find out. You have to find out, what they do for a living. Are they working out? Are they not working out? Do they drink water?
Psh.
What kind of environment do you work in?
Mhm.
All of these things matter, whether we're talking hair extensions or just regular hairstyle.
Right.
When I was, and I'm going to date myself a little bit. When I was in cosmetology school, when I was working corporate,
Mhm.
okay, I got fired for. Do you see how my hair is now?
Uh-huh.
It's blonde, and my
Uh-huh.
roots are growing in.
Uh-huh.
I had a whole situation with the manager at the bank I was working at.
Because of why?
She and I had I think I had like braids, the set it off braids back then, the bob.
Okay,
So
okay.
then the roots was, she was upset that I my hair didn't wasn't a natural color.
They be blonde.
And if you have been on just being on here with me and the amount of time that you all have, I wasn't having it.
Psh, period.
One of the reasons why I am self-employed business owner, because you are not gonna tell me that. Baby, she sent the head teller who was, she was our sister.
Oh,
The
oh,
manager was not.
you said our
And
sisters are. Oh, okay, okay. Listen, I be thinking only the 8x10s act like that sometimes, but I guess not. But go ahead.
so I got with her later, but she was only doing her job.
Okay.
So at this time, I was probably 20. I said, "Oh, she sent you to tell me that. No worries. I'll take care of it.
Mm,
What are you going to do? I'm going to have a conversation with her. Just because you're my manager doesn't mean we can't have a conversation." So
right.
I proceed to, go to the office, and I get in the office and I was just very frank with her.
Hmm.
How is it that you just went and got your color touched up last week?
Mm,
I have not gotten my color touched up last week. It's the same color. Your hair isn't naturally blonde either. Why are we having this conversation?
that's the
Is it
facts.
affecting my work? It's not? Okay. And at 19 years old, 20 years old, I knew to stand up for myself. You listen. So today, I'm bringing it back. Today,
Hmm.
the bank tellers have red hair, blonde hair, this, that, and the third.
Hmm.
You don't know if the level of I'm trying to think of the word that I'm trying to say here. So if they're in certain levels of, corporate, those things still are not acceptable. So
Right.
if you're
Right.
servicing a clientele where those type of things aren't acceptable, you need to know so you can know how to service her and that she'll be able to maintain her hair and her lifestyle.
Right. Right.
Right. So that's
So she
an
won't be getting a
important part
call
of the
from the manager.
consultation. So she won't be getting a call from the manager, for her $120,000 job. She coming for an appointment at 12 noon. Okay, I need I
You
need
know
my
what? It's
color
so
done.
funny that you have a bank story like that. I have a client and she has alopecia universalis. So she has
Okay.
no hair
No
everywhere.
hair.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And she wanted this. She wears her hair. She wears all different wigs because, of course, she has no
Mm-hmm.
hair. And she was like, "Oh, I want it to go from black to platinum, like, well, white, like what this is." She's like, "I want it maybe a little bit grayer than that." So I made it like a silver. It was very pretty. And
Mm-hmm.
they told her that she could not wear her hair that way, and that she was going to lose her job if we didn't recolor her wig, not knowing that, they're not aware that this woman has no hair. Like she doesn't have any hair. And it's such a thing where corporate gets to make decisions on how, based on
Yes.
how you wear your hair. When
Yes.
I know that the actual color crayon red is may not be a normal color, but ginger red is very, very, very normal. People grow that.
People, it grows right out of their head. And who's to say,
Who's
oh,
to
I missed
say?
my color appointment, so now you can see it? So what? It's a natural hair color.
It is. It really is. It's a natural hair color. And I mean that is such a debate, and I just don't understand why it's such it really I don't know, maybe it's because it's a difference of the complexion, because we do have more melanated skin, that there is a differentiation of color that you can see. But I don't care how
No,
light
they're just
skin.
looking at the wrong color.
You're right. You're right. Because I don't
They
understand. I don't.
tried it.
They do. They still trying it to this day. I can't even understand how that is a thing. Like, I really don't. Speaking on that topic about how people treat you when it comes to your hair, and how they can pass judgment on you when it comes to your hair, and it's like one of these things that people